Again, thanks all of you for taking time tonight to come out. One very small housekeeping item. I'm now tasked with collecting 10,000 signatures. So for those people that haven't been able to sign just to get me on the ballot, I would very, very much appreciate if you could do that before you leave. If not for any other reason, it's for choice. I'm running, my quick background is I grew up kind of on the other side of the tracks. Quite frankly, because of some athletic skill, I was in a very, very modest environment, but I could go to college on a scholarship. And because of success on the field and off the field, I won a Scholar Athlete Award and that paid for grad school. Not everyone has that kind of opportunity. And one of the things I want to do is trying to create as much opportunity for everyone. Now, opportunity is different than guaranteeing people outcomes. My whole career, my whole professional career, I have built companies. 2, 3, 4 founders, 1 founder sometimes, trying to build these companies to have a lot of value and create a lot of jobs. And my campaign, if you remember one thing, it's going to be Jeff for Jobs, which may or may not resonate with people in this room. But let me tell you, when you give people the ability to let their own work ethic and their own limits, you know, the sky's the limit. And I'm an example of one. And a lot of people, when they look at me, they say, okay, this guy moved to Boston literally with $800 27 years ago, Boston area. I couldn't afford to live in downtown Boston, frankly. In fact, I slept, truth be told, I slept on a couch for a month just to save up enough money that I could actually get an apartment. But to go from there to just work and just, you know, play hard, work hard, and ultimately, you know, a number of years later, have lived my little version of the American dream. And for that reason, you know, immigrants like my story a lot, middle-class people like my story a lot, because I'm one of them. You know, I'm a product of a multi-generation, as you might imagine, you know, Irish family that, you know, every generation did a little bit better. And people, they're hungry to get back at it. But getting back to government, the government has to create as much opportunity for everyone, and in some cases, just get out of the way. I've been trying to bring a huge project to Massachusetts. I mean, $1 billion price tag, all the money's coming from Wall Street. I don't want the state's money. I just want them to work with each other within the State House and get out of the way. And one of the things I want to do as governor is have literally ambassadors to business saying, what do you need? Who do you have to get in the same room? And as governor say, why isn't this going forward? It's not that hard. There are some things that talk about low-hanging fruit. Places to save $5 million there, $12 million there, $20 million there. They're out there. But someone has to have the will to say, we need to drive that. And this is not a conversation just about, you know, waste, fraud, and inefficiencies. There's more to it than that. It's changing a culture. It's have people go to work every day saying, how do I serve people in the Commonwealth? How do I, you know, make your life easier? Which doesn't mean you're stripping off every regulation, by the way. Regulations are there for a very good reason, to keep businesses from basically eating their young and cannibalizing everything. And I'm a business guy, and I'll tell you that. Regulations, you know, they can be simplified, absolutely. No question in my mind. They're a structure. They're a defense mechanism, right? But we have to do better. And I see it. I talk to small businesses all over the state. And now I'm a guy, I look at about 1,000 companies a year with our team. And I've been doing it for over 25 years. That's a lot of companies, not just in Massachusetts, by the way. But I hear the problems all the time. I hear about people trying to get things done and they just can't, and they get frustrated. I know people who've moved out of state. I know people who won't expand in the state. I know people who won't come to the state, but they want to. And why do they want to? It's because the people in this room, it's about talent. You know, they know this Commonwealth is just chock filled with talent and brain power and hardworking people. And they want access to it. Let's give them access to it. You know, let's improve the schools so they have more and more talent. And again, there's some low-hanging fruit. We're doing it in 41 states with one of our companies, happens to be a math education software company, and we're growing and we're thriving. We have entire states that do it, but in Massachusetts we say, oh, we're doing fine. We're #1 in the country in education. Yeah, if we're so bloody smart, why are 37% of our third graders not proficient in reading? I think that is criminal to say we're done. Because you know what? On average, maybe we are kind of #1. #1 relative to what? I mean, everyone in this room knows we're competing internationally, for Pete's sakes. Our best kids don't even make the bottom rung of the ladder compared to kids from Singapore. What is wrong with that? We are better than that. I really, really believe that. And it can be done, but as everyone in the room here knows, I mean, you guys know this more than anyone, it takes political will to do it. The same old just doesn't work, and there are cliffs. There's education cliffs, fiscal cliffs, you know, like you wouldn't believe, healthcare cliffs. I mean, healthcare, when I moved here, was 20% of the state's budget. It's almost 41% of the state's budget now. What are we going to wait until it's 53 to get our act together? And we know we can do it. And there are examples of private companies doing it. So in a ruthlessly competitive environment, they're getting it done. Why the heck can't we get it done, you know, with the state's purchasing power, for Pete's sakes? So it's that kind of mindset. And when you hear debates, and I've been in forums, and this is actually kind of fun for me, because all I have to do is speak of my experience and tell the truth. It's really cool. And for people here who have already said, you want to give people a choice, you want to give someone a voice. I love that. That's what it's about. And when people hear me say that kind of thing, and they think, wait a minute, this guy, he's not tied to special interests. He's from the other side of the tracks. He's self-made. He builds companies. He's created thousands of jobs. Gosh, it sounds like someone I want running the Commonwealth. I don't owe anyone anything, except for my fantastic parents and my public school teachers and my coaches who really cared about me, and obviously the people of the Commonwealth. And that's, if you're going to be beholden to anyone, that's the group you want to be beholden to. So with that, again, my name is Jeff McCormick. We do have a pretty good website. I'd encourage you to visit it. Anything you could do to help us gather the signatures, because as you know, that's a pretty extensive process. And of course, there's so much gamesmanship with the parties, with what they set up. Every hurdle I have is going to be higher. But I'm willing to take that on, because I've done it my whole life. It hasn't been easy. I've been knocked on my butt so many times, but when you play lacrosse, you know what? You get back up again. So with that said, I laud your efforts. I wish everyone well in these upcoming races. Good luck with everything, and there is a voice waiting to be heard. Just tap into it, okay? Thank you.